Go ahead and say all of that wild shit online, man. You might need a Dr. Phil if you catch me outside. And I will not apologize if you ain't one of mine, fam. I cannot afford to give a fuck if it was finance.
All right, everybody, welcome to the very first episode ever of Fact You, a show that could really give a fact. I am one of your hosts, Ray Hazen Jr., a.k.a. Scoob Dad Leahy. I am a co-host of a show called Trailer Park Boys Fan Federation on Leader One Studios, and I have a show called Snack Shack, Scoob Dad Snack Shack, right here on Conehead Entertainment. With me today is my good buddy, really good buddy, Jason McMurray. Jason, why don't you go ahead and say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, what's up? My name's Jason. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say that is a little bit.
I was going for that Corbin Dallas effect, you know, like he does.
Pop it, D-Man.
Hi.
Unbelievable.
How you feeling, Corbin? Fine.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm Jason McMurray, and I do a little show called JD's Firehouse. We like to eat hot sauce and stuff, and I guest every once in a while here and there. This is kind of my first dabble into our own show, and I'm really excited about it, so people can hear what I have to say.
That's right, dude. And you know what? If I can be honest, hot sauce is an understatement for the shit that you do on that show. Because if people want to click over and check it out, JD's Firehouse, if you scroll back, you'll see an episode where I go down and Joe and Jason, we get really hammered and eat some death jerky that made me look like a little girl with a skinned knee.
Death jerky is a really good way to put it too, dude, because there is an actual disclaimer with a lot of the stuff we do saying that you could die if you do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an understatement.
Well, anyway, a little bit about me then too. Like I stated, I am Scoob Dad Leahy, aka Raymond Hazen, however you want to look at it. Have the shows, and I've been trying for a while to start this little political news current event show, and I finally found my host, my good buddy Jason. We are a little bit different here. We're going to be a little different than the average things you see. We like to drink beer sometimes. We like to drink whiskey sometimes. We like to smoke weed sometimes. Pretty much all the time. We do cuss a bit. I'm going to try to refrain from that as much as I can for the other viewers that don't like cussing so much. But it is hard for me because I am a foul mouth. This is a show that you're going to get straight up facts. And if we're unsure of something, we will look it up on the spot and try to determine whether it is a fact or fiction right here on the spot. Realistically, there's anything that I'm not sure of or that Jason's not sure of, we're not going to tell you, hey, this is a fact. But pretty much everything we discuss is what they don't want you to hear, what the media is not going to tell you, and what the left is lying about. Go ahead.
I think that for transparency, we should tell everybody where our political standings are at. And myself, I'm an anarchist. I'm registered as a libertarian because that's the closest thing. And, you know, a lot of people, when they hear the word anarchist, they think like hordes of people. Destruction, cities burning.
Apocalypse.
Child slavery and shit. Yeah. But it's better put as a voluntarist is the same thing as an anarchist. I believe that everything should be voluntary. I believe taxation is theft, and Epstein definitely didn't kill himself. You know.
No. Hey, did you see? So just to bring it up real quick, unfortunately, Norm Macdonald left us the other day, and that really broke my heart. But God rest him. Soul.
Yeah.
I will argue with anyone, probably one of the funniest men, if not the funniest stand-up comedian ever lived. Did you see years and years and years ago when he was on The View? It's what got him booted off The View. I actually didn't even realize this till I saw a clip of it the other day on another show that I watched. And dude, it cracks me. He got him kicked off the View. He's been kicked off. Hasn't been allowed on for like fucking a decade.
He's 86.
Yeah, it's like 2 decades. It was right after Bush Jr. won, so Clinton was out, and he was sitting there. They were asking him how he felt about it, and he's like, "Well, I think it's pretty good that we got some of the murder out of the White House and got some good." They go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, the president's a little less murdery now." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, Clinton killed the guy. You didn't hear about that?" And then, of course, Joy Reid or Behar and all of them, they lose their shit. Like, you can't. And they're trying to. And you know how Norm is. Like, he stops and he lets it go, and they keep going. And so just when they think they left it, he goes, "Wait, you guys didn't hear about this?" And, like, and then he'll let them go. "No, you can't talk about this. Stop it." They're getting mad. They later on goes, "Okay, manslaughter then."
And decent, none of this. Yeah, he's not a liar, a crook, murderer, or anything like that. So it'd be good to get the. See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who are the murderers?
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, we're not allowed to. You're not allowed to put out no accusations without.
That's a little too far.
That's the way it doesn't work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice. Okay. Be a good boy. Now, Norm.
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen, we don't need
I
to
don't want
talk
to get
about
into
that.
this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next question. So get with it.
There you go.
This is a live show.
Not for nothing, Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm now going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
Shut up. Shut up. Look,
Okay.
let me do this, okay?
I'll tell you what's a matter of record. You will not be invited back if you don't shut up. All right, now. Let's talk football.
All right, manslaughter.
Let's talk football.
Norm, did you ever hear the word?
The phone is ringing.
I certainly hope that's somebody calling to tell you to go home.
Oh, no. People always told me Hollywood was like incredibly liberal and biased, and I thought it was untrue, but
And like he just keeps going with it. It was so funny, but yeah.
I do as much as I can to avoid listening to those hags, because seriously, they're just so pompous and so entitled, and they spew out things that aren't
Hate
actually rhetoric and hate that don't really apply to normal people like you and I.
Pure division.
That's it.
Yep.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, that whole show is brain rot. And other than a funny contradiction or something they'll make, you'll never ever hear me reference that show.
No. If it wasn't for Norm being on there making a big fool out of things, I wouldn't reference it either. I kind of did check out the talk a little bit because my grandma watched the talk for a while, and so since I helped take care of her, I'd watch it with her every once in a while. And I've always been a big advocate of Sharon. I love Sharon Osbourne. I think she's just one of the most righteous down women ever. I mean, to stick with Ozzy's ass for fucking so long.
But you never see Sharon going off about all this crazy shit. She's just kind of sitting there going like, "Yeah, my husband eat bat heads." You know what I was saying?
Yeah. Well, they kicked her off the talk because they were all attacking what's his face, that British news guy. Shoot, what was his name? I'm gonna have to look that up in a second.
Are you talking about Tommy Boy?
No. He's a British newscaster who he made some sort of comment. I gotta look that up. I'm gonna look it up when you're talking again.
That's another show.
Anyway, she simply said, I've never heard the man make. You know how it is. Everybody's racist now because he said something, and so Sharon's like, I've never heard. He's not racist, man. He's my friend, and and because of that, Sharon, got booted off the talk. And I was already starting to get way like, all right, screw the talk. It's too much propaganda. The few things that I saw. And then CBS in general is trash. And the moment I realized CBS was trash was when they covered this this case down here, this little thing happening to happen. And they're like, oh, innocent man gunned down in the streets, blah, 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 blah. And instantly I already knew it was BS because, unfortunately, CBS reported late. to somebody else. I had already seen the police cam footage, read the fucking police report, and seen the articles. So I know that the guy was a drug dealer in a stolen car with a gun in a high-speed chase. And he got gunned down resisting with all that stuff. But the way CBS framed it was innocent young black man got gunned down, and that just wasn't what actually happened. And that was the moment that I knew, like I already knew they were, but that was the evidence that CBS is garbage. And so that was the moment where I was just like, yeah, I can't even watch it, you know. I can't really watch anything on it.
What was that? That guy that got killed by the cops and it started all the riots in Ferguson.
George Kirby.
Floyd.
I say Kirby because that's what Nancy Pelosi said. Remember when the bill was being passed, and make sure the bill is worthy of George Kirby's name.
And I'm very proud before the Judiciary Committee that before he testified, he said to me, "Madam Speaker, do you think that I can tell George's daughter that his name will be always remembered because you'll name the bill for him?" And I said, "Well, I'll recommend that to the Judiciary Committee and to the Congressional Black Caucus who have shaped the bill. But I only will do that if you tell me that this legislation is worthy of George Kirby's name."
That's me vacuuming.
Yeah, pandering to the Jesus. You don't even know the guy's name. Yes, it's Floyd. We all know. But yeah, George Floyd. Anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna go off on a tangent. You know, that kid that got politicized because he shot somebody in the head during one of the riots.
Kyle Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse.
If you post a picture of his face on Facebook, you'll get banned. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
That must be recent because when it happened, I was posting all kinds of pictures in support of Kyle, so they must have recently added. Pierce Morgan. That's
Pierce Morgan.
Pierce Morgan. Sharon Osbourne has been caught up in one of the biggest controversies of her career following her explosive outburst on the. Yeah, I watched the episode. Well, I went back and watched it because I heard that she got fucking kicked off, and so I wanted to see. And dude, they just started attacking her. That Cheryl Underwood is not a nice. She's a very racist woman herself. Yeah. And she had Sharon in tears on stage because they're attacking her, calling her racist and all these other things simply because she said Pierce is a nice guy. I've never seen him do anything. Well, I think you guys are mistaking what he meant, you know. And
that guy's a gun grabber, so I don't really have very much sympathy for him.
Pierce Morgan.
Yeah, as I recall, he's totally anti Second Amendment. I know he's British and they don't have the Second Amendment, but
they don't even have it.
But he's always commenting on our shit, which that drives me batty. When people from other countries, things that don't affect them, and they comment on it, I'm like, just get out of my Kool-Aid. Now, like. If it's like some stupid tax that our leaders enact and it affects you, that's a different story. But like Pierce Morgan, dude, he's always fucking just jerking off gun grabbers and stuff. And I think it's kind of funny that they're like cannibals. You know, they eat themselves. Like
the left?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Man. You see how they turned on Nicki Minaj today?
Yeah.
Because she said, I don't want the vaccine now because it fucked up somebody I know?
Yeah.
That's logical. If you took it and you grew a third arm, I'm going to be like, you know what? My buddy grew a third arm. I think I'm cool. You know, like.
I really liked her analogy about marbles and stuff, too. That was just freaking boss. And I never thought I'd say that.
Hey, it was so funny. I was watching Louder with Crowder earlier, and they were talking about that, and they're talking about that marble part, and Dave Landau's on there, and Dave Landau looks around and goes, "Wait, you guys didn't do the marble thing?" Oh, that shit, bro. Oh, it killed me. In case everyone's wondering, I'm just lighting a little incense here. I like incense. Alrighty, well, shoot. Let me go ahead, I guess, and tell you where I stand a little politically. I'm an odd one, I guess. Not really, if you actually know what they are. I am what you would call a conservative anarchist, leaning on libertarian.
Well, that's what I am too, but you just added more words.
Yeah, I make it sound fancier. Come on, Doc. It's just like cooking in a restaurant, brother. Presentation is 80% of the meal.
Right. You know, it's like just when you put sprinkles on that, like when they say it's not socialism, it's democratic socialism. It's, you know, put sprinkles on a dog turd, basically. It's still a
Yeah,
piece of shit.
yeah, for sure. Well, I thought we could go ahead and get into our first topic, and I thought we could start right off with Antifa and the terrorist organization that they really are.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy. Does anyone else hate Antifa as much as me? I mean,
Oh, I think I do more.
I mean, all they do is terrorize and attack, and it don't matter. You can be an old person, you can be a little kid walking down the street, and they will attack you and beat you and burn your cities down. And it just blows my mind that we still want to pretend that January 6th was a insurrection riot, but we want to call peaceful protest as burning buildings burned down behind us.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly, but fires have been started.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it was a government building. Well, what do you call police stations and fucking monuments and statues? Those are government buildings. We're destroying those. Those aren't. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, you got anything you want to add real quick, or?
Well, yeah, shoot, I go on all
Go
day
ahead.
about this crap. You know, Antifa, it's even on what is this? Wikipedia calls them a left-wing, anti-fascist, anti-racist political movement in the United States. Now, first of all, that right there is false, because Antifa actually comes from Germany. And a lot of people don't know that. I'm going to butcher it when I try to say it, but
That's all right. Educate us, though, brother, because I didn't know that. Go ahead.
Antifa Schisch Aktion, 1932 to 1933, was a short-lived group which inspired Antifa that we have now. Now, on Wikipedia, it doesn't go, and I could just keep searching and searching and searching, but I'm going to leave it a little bit to you and everybody else out there to do a little research for yourself on this. Has anybody ever heard of the brown shirts? The brown shirts were the people of the Nazi Party that went out in the streets and beat people that opposed the Nazi Democrat Nazi Party, or so, whatever it was called. Now, that's Antifa. They also
I was about to say that. That's where we're going. So that's our government's Antifa.
That's what Antifa is, like the strong arm of the liberal freaking progressive movement. And most of them are kids led by freaking college professors. They don't even know like this history, like I just told you about where this all comes from and what it actually is. You know, and I went to this little old thing called Battle of Berkeley, and I was actually part of security for a free speech movement in the park there on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And these guys came, these Antifa people, all clad in black, all masked up, and this is way before 2020. This is before masks were cool, and hiding their faces. And
back when only Michael Myers and Jason wore them.
Right. And these guys, they were throwing explosives, they were throwing bricks, they were throwing frozen sodas and things of that nature, and just into our crowd of people that were just there to listen to somebody talk. Now, they call themselves anti-fascists.
Yeah.
and they're making people not talk.
Yeah. If I call you a racist, if you defend yourself, you look like more, and if you don't defend yourself, then, well, obviously you are. You know what I'm saying? If I call you a fascist, if you defend yourself, you look even worse like one.
Not only that, I forget who says it. I think it was Marx, but it might have been somebody else. But if you repeat a lie enough times, it'll be accepted as the truth.
Yeah, it becomes the truth. Yes.
And that's what's happened. I mean, this Wikipedia page is a prime example of that. And it's just sad, man, and a lot of people haven't seen how violent and how much of a disregard for liberty and scruples, to be honest with you. These Antifa people, they come and attack you, but they hit old people in the head with freaking bats, and they sucker punch people. I watched an Antifa member. It was too fast. It was a girl, I don't know, but she hit this 70-year-old man in the back of the head. He had his back to her, and I seen her approaching, and I yelled, but he couldn't hear me. And she just cold cocked him in the back of the head, and then ran away screaming. It's freaking insanity. They don't even know what they're doing. So, like I said, Fact Antifa. I could go on about this all
Antifa,
day.
you can go fact yourself.
That's it.
These are facts right here.
Oh, it's just the side. Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got I still have a right hand.
Yeah. So brother, I was sitting there watching half your face fucking talk while the other half's like this.
I'm not having a stroke, I promise.
We're good, and we're back. Slight technical difficulties, but it is episode 1 of a show that has a budget of $0. So hey, I guess it technically has a few cent budget, because I bought my video editing program, so that did cost me some money.
I did buy my GoPro.
Yeah. So I mean, hey,
it's
so
a minimal. If we keep talking like this, we're gonna have to start a fucking GoFundMe account or something.
Yeah,
for
right.
Everybody that wants us to actually sound and look good.
Right. Very much so. Anyway, yeah, I agree. Back to where we were at, if I can try to remember where we were on topic. Yeah.
I was going off on an Antifa tangent.
And how they were the brown shirts. Like the brown shirts.
The brown shirts, the same things that Nazi Germany used, and they were, and a lot of Democrats and liberals these days, they deny it or don't know. I don't know which one it is, but the Nazis were Democrats. They were social Democrats, and that's basically where today's Democrat Party in America is headed. That's Joe Biden is. AOC, and this Antifa is like it's just like, and a lot of people don't know this also, it's just like the Ku Klux Klan was. Did you know that the Ku Klux Klan were all Democrats?
Yeah, founded by the Democrat Party. That is a fact.
That is a fact. Yep. And this Antifa is the exact same it's the exact same thing with a different costume on. And it's using terrorism, it's using violence and coercion, and it's trying to tell people what they should do rather than letting people do what they want to do.
Right. So Antifa is to the Ku Klux Klan what Jason in Space was to regular Jason. You remember that one? Where he got to space and got the up there.
Yeah. It is basically the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, and it's just I don't know. Anyone who doesn't fully just accept the fact that they are a straight up domestic terrorist organization that are fascist and racist, and the proof is in the fact that they will attack anyone who says anything different than what they think. between someone on the left and someone on the right is us over here will actually stand up for your right to disagree with us, because my rights are dependent on the fact that you have rights. You get what I'm saying? And so, and that matters. That matters to me, and that matters because I have a son, and I want my son to be able to have an opinion, have a voice. If it used to be cool to walk to the beat of a different drummer. Remember that shit? Oh, he's his own man. Now, if you don't do what the mob says, they'll attack your business, burn your house down, fucking
mob rule. That's it. Exactly it, dude.
That's what it is.
A lot of people think, Democrats think that that's how our country works, and this Antifa movement is a direct product of this thinking, because we don't live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic, son. Mm-hmm. And what that does, is guarantees our rights, because our rights aren't given to us by the government. Our creator, no matter whatever you believe,
right?
You're these rights you're born with them inherently, and it's like, if there's three people, you and me and Sally, right? And you and Sally say, "Hey, I like your bike." We've all seen that meme. And Sally and I voted that we should have your bike, so we're taking your bike. That's not how it works in a constitutional republic, where you're guaranteed your right to your property, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Completely. And I think that's what people don't get about the socialist, wanting a socialism government, is it would be the exact opposite. It would be the former, the first thing you said, where if you had a nice house or a nice car, the group can come over, and the government, the socialist group government can just go, you know what? We want to take your house and give it to this group over here instead. Thank you. We're going to do that. And that's exactly how that works.
Yeah, we voted on it.
Yeah. So anytime, like in a quick glimpse into people that are actually for this, and they might not even realize they're doing it. I honestly don't believe that most people actually know or believe what they think they're saying. Or they might actually believe it, but they don't actually understand what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's what the problem is too. Yeah, I agree.
Anyone who starts talking about equity instead of equality, that's when you got to watch out for, because that outcome of equity or what is it? However they word it, but it's the equity shit. That's socialism. That's being able to take. Everything goes to the group, to the big whole, the greater good, the collective. So it's like, if you make a little too much because your business is doing a little better than normal, we're just going to take that from you to give over here to this group because you got a little too much, and that's bullshit.
Communism, a lot of people don't know this also, because they don't teach history or U.S. history in school.
Not anymore.
Communism was actually tried in America. A lot of people are unaware of the Mayflower Compact, and the result of it was, like, I can't remember the exact number, so this is not a fact, but it was a high percentage. I'm going to say like 30 or 40% of the original settlers here that tried communism died.
Really?
They starved to death.
Oh wait, you know what?
Because
I feel like I think I heard something about that.
Yeah, it's the Mayflower Compact. The Mayflower Compact, and I suggest everybody look it up and read it for themselves. Yeah, it's like when they were coming over here and with the Mayflower and Plymouth Rock and all that shit. The settlers agreed to on a form of communism. Like we share, everybody works, and we all put it in for everybody.
I do remember hearing about that now.
And what ended up happening, which happens every time in socialism, is that they starved because there was no incentive to work harder. And that's part
you don't get it because you don't get any more.
That's part of being an ANCAP, is that there's always way to get more. But if you don't have to work for it and you could still get this, why even work? And that's what kills them.
And then even if no matter you work harder, you're still going to get this, you know, because you get the same regardless.
Regardless of how hard you work.
Yeah,
it's work at all.
It's like government cheese. You're going to get your government cheese regardless of what happens. And if you work harder, guess what? You're still going to get that government. You might even qualify for less if you work harder.
Yeah. That's how, you know, you're laughing about it, bro, but it's kind of scary. That's how unemployment is right now, dude. Motherfucker, people don't want to go to work. Well, it just stopped. I know it just stopped a few weeks ago or so, but for like over a year, people that didn't want to work were getting paid not to work.
There are 10 million jobs in America right now. It's the most vacant jobs we've had ever. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I mean, get a job. You know, go get a job.
Anybody looking for a job that's listening to this would probably like to know the following, and this is a fact. Amazon, the delivery place, has announced that part of their drug screening, let me rephrase that, their drug screening for employment for a delivery driver or warehouse worker does not include cannabis anymore.
I did not know that. I thought you were going to mention how they just announced that they're, I think it's like 150,000 or 250,000 new employees they're hiring too. So
that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, that's on top of the 10 million that we've already had for the past, you know, so long. And
the rest of the country could get their head out of their asses about that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't test for freaking beer. They don't, you know, it's what's it called? Not medieval, draconian freaking laws as far as that's concerned. Sure, we don't want somebody that's shooting smack, fucking working on the assembly line with us. But if you or I, you know, after we work 12 hours, we want to go home and smoke a doob or drink a beer or whatever. It doesn't affect anybody else.
No, it doesn't. You know, the problem is until they can develop some sort of immediate tell you how long you've used marijuana test, which they don't have, and you know that there's no way to prove.
It's not going to happen. It's fat solo.
No, exactly. Yeah, you know, because the point is you can't be loaded on the assembly line. You know, and that's the thing about beer. If you drink and you test positive, like you drank relatively recently. You know?
Yeah.
And so. And so I get it. And I mean, you're right. It's bullshit, you know. You know, what you were saying a few minutes ago about the fact that they're not properly educating kids in school actually leads me into the next thing I want to talk about.
Good segue.
Which is, great segue, man. Great segue. Which is one of the things they are teaching about in school. Way too much, I think. And, and it just shows you the insanity.
This is what's bullshit. Today is the first time our country has recognized Juneteenth. It's a national holiday, and yet I'm getting ready to go back to school in the fall, and my governor has put into place some ridiculous legislation that many governors across the country have put into place, such as I can't teach anything divisive, I can't teach critical race theory, and I can't teach about racial equity. This is at all public schools, colleges, and universities. So, teachers, in the past, we've been activists. After this shit show of last year, we really need to stand up and do what's right for our kids right now. So, this is a call to action, teachers. We gotta stand up and fight for our kids because this is bullshit. We can't lie to them.
Let's do this.
Yeah, it's CRT. It's CRT, critical race theory. For those in the back who don't know what CRT is, critical race theory. And what critical race theory is, everything is based on race. Everything is race-based, and only whites are the evil ones, and they invented everything. Like nothing in history happened prior to the 1700s. White people invented everything bad ever. You know. Which is straight garbage. It's like, okay, we were the last ones to the slavery party for starters. We were the last ones to the world party, America. We were the last country to be formed. We were the last people to adopt slavery. Like, we don't realize that the Egyptians were enslaving people like fucking 1,000 years ago, but that was probably because of white supremacy also.
You know, have you? I was reading about this morning, and Britannica, as in Encyclopedia Britannica, for all us Xers that actually had to open books to do research.
I remember that.
Britannica.com says that the
CRT catalog.
Yes, the
Oh
Dewey
my God.
Decimal System is my friend.
Hey, that's a foul word in my house. Anyway, go ahead.
The CRT is actually, facts coming for you according to Britannica.com. CRT, critical race theory, is an intellectual movement and loosely organized framework of legal analysis based on the premise that race is not a natural, biologically grounded feature of physically distinct subgroups of humans, but a socially constructed, SJW, cultural invented category that is used to oppress and exploit people of color. Critical race theorists hold that the law and legal institutions in the United States are inherently racist, insofar as they function to create and maintain social, economic, and political inequalities between whites and non-whites, especially African Americans. Now, that is a mouthful right there, but I think it's pretty much says what they're doing.
Yeah, it's there to create division amongst blacks and whites, and that's what it is, and that's all it is.
Well, not only that, it's saying that our entire government is racist because of this.
Well, no, I think what it's saying is that's what CRT says, and that's what CRT does say. It does teach it. That everything's racist, our government's racist, the people are racist, everyone in it's racist. Even if you don't know you're racist, you're racist. True. You know, just because you're black and I don't like you doesn't mean I'm racist. You might just be an asshole. You know, I mean, I like everybody and I hate everybody. You know what I'm saying? I've had more problems in my life with white people, but why is that? Because it's a much larger population. There's more white people around. I interact with them on more on a daily basis. So of course I'm gonna have more problems with them. If you live in an inner city, you're gonna have more problems with black people or whatever because you're around them more often. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But if you move to where it's an even more evenly dispersed, diverse, thank you, group, you know, you're still gonna, I mean, it's gonna be pretty much equal, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, I don't know. It's all garbage. You know, CRT is garbage.
It is, dude. Here's a little bit more garbage from their shit, all right?
Okay.
CRT has influenced scholarships. CRT is paying to train our children this. In fields outside the confines of legal studies, which is what they focus on because they want to use the law to beat you with, including women's and gender studies, education, American studies, and
studies is another bit of trash.
And sociology. CRT spin-off movements formed by Asian American, Latinx, LGBTQ, Muslim, and other scholars have also taken hold. It's one. This is what we were just talking about. It's the mob.
Yeah. Hey, quick side note, Latinx. Can I tell you something funny? A study was just taken on Latinx of Latinos, and how many 4% of Mexicans like the term Latinx. That is nothing but white people trying to be politically correct about bullshit again, pressing their fucking issue upon other people. Latin people don't want to be called fucking Latinx. They want to be called Mexican. They want to be called fucking Latin. Latino will work. I think girls like Latina. Some of them, you know.
My name's
and Vato Loco. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's about it. My homeboys that I'm from now, they want to be called Vato. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or SA or yeah.
You know? Like, Latinx, get that shit out of here, bro. They don't like it. Give it up.
Yep. My real Mexican friends like it. They're cool when you say culero, you know? They're just like, hey, yo culero, hey, what's up, PT? Anyway, that 4%, that's what I wanted to say. That 4% is the dudes that are named like Chad Ramirez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And on the ballot, it's all, how do you identify? And he's like, oh, my last name's Ramirez. I'm Latin. I'm Hispanic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the guy named John Wanson.
Yeah, not Juan Wanson, but John
No,
Wanson.
John.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I don't know if people have been seeing as much about these teachers, or there's this guy I watch, Mike vs. the World. No, Mike vs. Everyone. That's what it is. I almost call it. I don't know why. But Mike vs. Everyone is a YouTube guy I watch. I freaking love his stuff, man. He does things we call. You remember the old creature features back in the day? Back on like Coffee TV and whatnot. Well, he does the teacher features, and so he highlight, because some of these teachers, they be going on TikTok, and they're just like, it blows my mind the things that they're saying. Like, okay, we'll go ahead and start with the guy that you mentioned. The guy I can't remember exactly what school it was. I'll look it up. Let's see here. Let's see if I can look it up real quick. Or Jason, if you want to look it up while I talk, you can. The Antifa teacher.
Yeah, I got it.
Anyway, the guy who Project Veritas. Undercovers and bust this guy, and they're sitting at a table at the restaurant talking, and the guy's sitting there talking about it. He's like, you know, I got 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries. And the one guy's like, well, how do you do that? Because I scare the fuck out of them. And then and then just show him clips or pictures in his classroom. He's got an Antifa flag. Somebody's got an Antifa flag in his classroom, and he goes, yeah, one of my students was that flag makes me upset, like you should, I don't like it, you should take it down. He goes, well, the flag's or uncomfortable. He goes, makes me feel uncomfortable. And the teacher's like, oh, well, that flag's supposed to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so maybe you shouldn't align with fascists and shit. And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? If you believe that stuff, which I'm going to say from it, but Antifa is a terrorist organization, and every last one of them should be tried for treason and locked up. 100% is my opinion.
Gabriel Geip, that's his name.
That's his name.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you scare the fuck out of them?
Yeah. Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? So like, when there is like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where would he go to connect to some of these organizations?
I post a calendar every week.
Awesome.
And then so and I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. And so that encourages them to do it. And I've had students show up for protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, all sorts of things. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit. I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that. And he said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to. So the Cultural Revolution in the 60s was fixing the problem that came about after the economic one. It ultimately failed, right? There was a lot of excesses. People were definitely shot in the streets that probably shouldn't have been.
Incredibly ugly behavior come out of this city, and you can see a couple of people over there that might be demonstrating that.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you scare the fuck out of them?
If you want to do that on your own or whatever you believe is your own political views or whatever, that's fine. But you don't do it in the classroom. You don't indoctrinate children. You go to somewhere on your own time.
Dude, he was giving them extra credit for this shit.
Yes,
that's even
extra
worse.
Credit to go to these freaking things. But if you want to go have a rally on your own and your students happen to show up by chance, and it's really by chance, that's just how that shit works. But the fact that you're in there teaching, giving extra credit, trying to force your kids into it, it's talking about 180 days to make revolutionaries, scare the fuck out of them, all that shit. It's just it's just trash. Our teachers, our school system are full of whiners and the force of the masks and the band-aids. These teachers are trying to protect themselves, not the kids. That's the worst part about it. They're whining. Kids are not at risk of the virus. You know, they don't want to teach. Like, how about the teacher that removed the American flag from her classroom because it made her uncomfortable? And she's laughing in this TikTok and giggling as she's saying this stuff. And she's talking about how she makes her kids not say they don't have to, the Pledge of Allegiance. And then one kid asked about it, like, teacher, what are we supposed to do the Pledge of Allegiance to? And she's like, well, you can do it to this. And points over here, and she's got that new inclusive gay flag.
Okay, so during third period, we have announcements, and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he, looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
Like, having the whole rainbow wasn't enough. They got to add some more lines and diagonals on it because more things are now included. Which irritates me. I want the rainbow back, everybody. Can't you all be like any good gang and just pick a color? Like, I want the rainbow. Like, Jesus, you got to have the whole spectrum. That's just greed. And then you get the whole spectrum. Now you want to just have all these new genders. Which brings me to the gender thing that they're teaching in schools and this gender theory stuff. That's all garbage. You get on there, you watch TikToks. There's literally girls on there talking about, I just made up a new gender, guys. Check this out. You can use it. It's Bacon Rama gender. And I'm a Bacon Ramder self, And it's like, or whatever. Like, they literally get on there and say, I just made up new gender. And all this shit is being taught to our kids. And kids are dumb. No offense, children, if anyone watches, I love you all. You will get smarter as time goes on if you learn and pay attention. But kids are dumb. They will believe you and follow you and listen to whatever you say and whoever they respect and like, and they're going to, oh, okay, And it's like, that's where this shit is happening. And it's like, okay, my brothers and I, we used to pretend, we used to argue over what fucking Ninja Turtle we were when we watched the Ninja Turtles. But do we really think we're turtles?
Well, that's the difference between our generation and this generation, because they do think they're fucking. They do think they're turtles.
Versus fantasy. See, somewhere along that line, no one told them this is make believe. It's okay to pretend you're a turtle, but you're not really a turtle.
It's because they all got trophies, dude. It's like. It's the exact same thing if you think about it.
There is no participation award in the real world.
In the real world, but they don't know that because
there's a punch to the sack and that's it.
And that's life, man. It kicks you in the nuts and you get up and you do better, or you whine for your trophy for getting kicked in the nuts, And I guess that's the difference between us and them.
Yeah. I'm just lucky that my son sees right through this garbage. How's your boy doing? Is he seeing through it?
It sounds like a jet taking off. Yeah, so he got a job, and he's starting to learn the pleasure of taxation. Because he's doing the math in his head, how many hours he worked and how much his hourly wages is, and he thinks his check's going to be, I don't remember what the number was, but he's like, yeah, my check's going to be $500. And he ended up getting like 320. And he's like, oh, what the fuck is this, dude? And I was like, yeah, that's Uncle Sam getting their cut.
Yeah. It took me a while to figure that out. If you get 4 and change, you'll take 3 and change. If you get 5 and change, you'll be lucky if you get low 4s. Yeah, depending on how much it is, And
I pay a third of what I get. It goes to taxes, and then I have to pay my health care on top of that every paycheck.
Which is trash because they take that tax money and they put it into things that I don't necessarily agree with.
Oh, they do, dude. And
it's like,
oh yeah. That's another show in itself right there.
Yeah, we might have to get into that.
Do you think we got time to teabag Newsome real quick?
Yes. We're going to get into our big segment, our final segment. Every episode here, we're going to have a special segment. We're going to teabag somebody. We're going to have a little teabagging. Someone, something, some article, some event, somebody, whatever, that just really needs to hear something. And we're going to give you what we like to refer to as a teabagging, but it's a verbal teabagging of sorts. We're just going to lay into it. And today, on the very first episode, it's a very special one. We thought we'd start right at the, well, I guess it's not the tippy top, but it's one of the tops. You know, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And today we're teabagging old grovelsome nuisance, a.k.a. Gavin Newsome.
They also call him the hair gel governor.
the used car salesman governor.
Dude.
What a greaseball. Okay, this guy, he is garbage. He is just, he's fake, he's phony, he's plastic. I think he's about as atomically correct as a Ken doll. Go ahead.
He's got to have something going there because in 2000 and let's see here, 4, I think it was, he got caught having an affair with his campaign manager's wife, which is actually his best friend. And I just wonder what.
That's right. That's when they paid her hush money, or tried to at least, or whatever.
What kind of douchebag bangs his best friend's old lady, or any friend's old lady? You know.
Yeah.
And you're married.
Yeah.
And this guy keeps getting freaking elected over and over and over again. I don't get it, dude.
You know, wherever he goes, it's like New York. You know, he's the reason the 49ers aren't in San Francisco. I hated that guy since then. Because the Niners had a great spot that they wanted to build a stadium. He's like, no, I got plans. He had plans for that fucking chunk of land. He said, you can go build over here, which ended up being like an ex-waste dump site. And they were like, we're not going to fucking build there. And Santa Clara was like, hey, you can build anywhere you want. I can't blame him for going down the street, like, fuck this. But it's like, go ahead.
You know about Aunt Nan, right?
Oh, yeah. Auntie Nancy?
Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House.
But I only will do that if you tell me that this legislation is worthy of George Kirby's name.
Nancy Antoinette?
His aunt. Do you know the name Jim Brown? He's related to them also. If you really get down and start looking into the names and stuff, Jim Brown's sister is actually the governor of Oregon right now, as a matter of fact, which is having besides Seattle, is having one of the biggest Antifa problems in the nation right now, as a matter of fact.
I think Portland's top, wouldn't you say?
Portland is top.
Yeah.
Portland, the Rose City Antifa, dude. Those guys, they stop at
hellhole Portland's become.
Yeah, I went through Portland a little while ago.
Really?
Probably about 5 months ago. Yeah, I went up to a little bit past Seattle. And
you went to your buddy. That's right.
I went through Portland and Seattle, and both places. I didn't go into the towns. I just went through them on the interstate, but it's just miles and miles of freaking homeless encampments. And on the side of the freeway, I can only imagine what it looks like on the other side. The other side, you know what I'm saying?
But back to
I digress. I apologize.
Yeah.
So he was in 2003. Newsome was elected the 42nd mayor of San Francisco, and he was only 36 years old. So he was the youngest mayor in San Francisco in over a century. He won re-election with like a 72%, blah blah blah. But that was before the bullshit started with his wife. He owns a lot of businesses. Most of them were given to him, but it doesn't say that here. He owns Plumpjack Wineries. It's on Oakville Crossroad in Napa. He
owns that?
Yeah, that's his. He's got another one, and he's got merch is what a lot of his businesses. Plumpjack Wine Shops, Plumpjack Sports Retail Clothing, Plumpjack Bar and Grill. These are all the businesses that he owns, and it's probably all in one spot, but he's clever about his taxes and stuff. So you put it all into different businesses, so that way your employee number and
Diversify your portfolio.
Your tax rate aren't the same. Anyways, yeah, so he got caught banging his freaking best friend's old lady during the campaign, and they still reelected him. Now, if he doesn't need some nuts on his head,
well, that's just because
I don't know who does.
Well, that's just because the left and the media told California to do it, just like they did now. We had a chance to get rid of that guy and actually put somebody in that might do something, and California dropped the ball again. Why? Because fucking like $80 million, tons of money, huge sponsor, speaker. Biden came down and gave Kamala,
Aunt Nan was making. Yeah, they pulled out the entire Democrat war party.
The whole arsenal. Yeah,
everybody. There was nobody else they could have called that would have. And
Obama got involved, man. And it's like, and it's just like, do people not see what's going on in the state? It's like he puts in mask mandates and then goes out to dinner at the French Laundry unmasked with the people that the campaign people that are giving him money and shit to do this stuff. Okay, do you know why we have power outages against the state? Because PG&E is a huge backer of Newsome, and they paid him, and he allowed them to not be responsible, and he allows them to shut the PG&E off every year instead of fixing the problems. Okay, that's what's.
Not only that, he shut down 8 fire camps right before this.
We had a huge prison system, fire camp system, and got rid of them all,
And it was It was right before this massive fire, the biggest I think in California, if not the United States history.
And that's one of the reasons we have fires. That on top of poor fire cleanup system, and actually none. I drive around up here in Lake County, and we drive around, and it's just it's 3 feet tall of dead grass in between every town, and I'm like, why are there not somebody out here, and not here, but everywhere in the state, just weed whacking? Get to fucking weed whacking right now. What are we waiting for? Pay someone to do this, and then this shit won't happen.
And look at our roads. Do you know how much taxes we pay? This gas tax, Newsome championed this fucking gas tax, and it was worded wrong on the ballot on purpose. Let's step back a second. I remember when the lottery started in California with scratchers and the balls. And it was a big controversy, gambling, blah, blah, blah. California was a red state then. Now, this is back in 82 or 83 or something like that. So it started, and everybody said...
82, that's the year I was born.
And... So I got memories older than you, big guy. But anyway, everybody, the reason it went through, what they used to get it to go through was they said, well, all this money is going to go to our schools. Not all this money, all the majority of the revenue, the proceeds after all the bills are paid, are going to schools. And this other section's going to the roads. And then shortly thereafter, the lottery went into effect. Blah, blah, blah. Fast forward. Many taxes later, now California's blue. And specifically what I was getting at was this gas tax that we have now. The freaking legislature can arbitrarily raise this gas tax without any sort of consensus from the population. That douchebag Newsome championed this shit. So when everybody goes to the gas pump and they wonder why they're paying $1.50, $2.50 more than they were last year, it's not all completely Biden's fault. A lot of it falls on Newsome here in California. If you drive in any direction into another state, you're not going to be paying as much for gas. And it's seriously, it's like $1.50, $1.80 an gallon in California taxes alone that we're paying a gallon.
Yeah. But Biden didn't help canceling that pipeline and some more shit, and we'll get into that one of these days too, you know. But more to Newsome, it's like, you know, mandates, all these vaccine mandates and mask mandates. I'm sorry that you're not following the science. It is not the science. Science doesn't tell you that. Did you know that in New Zealand, was it New Zealand? Shoot, I might be wrong on that. Damn it, I should check. I just watched it earlier today, and now maybe I'm just second guessing myself. Anyway. And this is just speculation. I mean, it's not speculation. These are fact, but they use different criteria. When someone dies, when they should be marked with their death, but with COVID, they still mark it down as COVID. You get what I'm saying? Like if you die of a car accident, but you have COVID, they put it down as COVID.
You have a heart attack, but you have COVID, so it was a COVID death.
Yes.
They were doing that here for a while.
Whereas if you die from the vaccine, right, but you had something else at the same time, like you have cancer, but the vaccine kills you, they put it down as you died of cancer.
Right.
So it's different. But anyway, if they actually use the same criteria, they had like 20-something deaths actually due to COVID, like, and not just with COVID, but you can say with COVID, but of COVID, 20, but they had 40-something with the vaccine.
Yeah.
So they actually had twice as many deaths with the vaccine than they had of just the COVID. And anyway, go ahead, because I don't want to get into vaccines today unless you want to.
No, let's stick with Newsome.
Yeah, because I want to stick with Newsome, then we'll cut it. Yeah. Which the only reason I was just trying to give context, like, so it's not science. We don't know the science yet. Anyone who says we know science, we don't know science. There's no long-term. So anyway, forcing these vaccines, forcing this stuff, 41st in the nation in education. 41st in the nation in education. You know, most kids out there can't even read and write, and now they're starting to want to get rid of. Oregon already did it. I hear we're wanting to do it. Newsom wants to do it. Like, get rid of reading, writing, and arithmetic criterias in school. There are 3 things you're supposed to learn when you go to school: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Everything else is just extra shit. Like, that's what you need to survive in life.
This has been coming for the past 15, 25 years, dude. They want people just smart enough to pull the levers and push the buttons and do what they're told. That's all they want.
But pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. As the great and powerful Newsom once said. I mean, Oz.
Don't question anything. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
well, look at this hand.
You know, I was just reading something here on Wikipedia about Newsom. The California had despite all the super strict mandates and bullshit, and mandates aren't laws, by the way. Despite all the tough ones we had in California, we had the 29th highest death rate out of all 50 states.
Yeah.
So, the places like Montana and Idaho and who knows where else, where there was no mandate, there was just a sign on the door saying, we'd like you to wear a mask. Nothing saying you can't come in here without wearing a mask. They had lower numbers than us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would directly correlate into exactly who's coming in here right now. You know, we have this massive thing going on down our border that Newsom's not doing shit about. He's like, welcome them. And none of these people are vaccinated. None of these people are tested. None of these people are vetted or anything, dude. It's
don't know who they are, what they've done in a previous life.
Come on in. I've got 20 million. I've got 200 million voters and all their tax money to give you a house and some food and teach your kids how to speak English and shit.
Yeah, more concerned with them than of citizens and citizens' children. Yeah,
the people. Yeah. I mean, that is like the definition of treason.
You know, the left always want to say like we're against immigration, and that is not it at all. 100% not against immigration, just illegal immigration. I probably wouldn't anymore, but I used to always say I would love to go live in Japan for a while. I mean, I probably would. I don't know if I really would right now. I don't know if I'd go many places right now that I used to want to go. New Zealand, Australia.
Not going to Australia. No.
Dude, you know how bad I wanted to go? Not anymore, baby.
Yeah, me too. Dude. Ever since I seen Crocodile Dundee, I wanted to go to Australia.
Yeah, it's Steve Irwin, and I watch other shows from there, and
not
they
now.
They are straight draconian lockdown, baby. You have no rights. And so, I'm not going there. Matter of fact, they built a fucking detention center airport. When you fly in, you stay there till they deem you fit to go into fucking Australia. It's a quarantine fucking building. They got the first one that I know of. There might be others, but it's the first one that I know of put out there. But anyway, I'm not going to go sneak into Japan. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if I move to Japan, I would do it the legal way. And also, I would like to speak a bit of Japanese.
Right.
Maybe not fluently, but
at least have a fucking translator app on your phone or something. You know what I'm saying?
No, not fluently, and I'm not going to be mad at everyone there because if I didn't, like that they're assholes because they expect me to speak like, hello, I'm in Japan, But I mean, that's it.
It's just I just want to pick up on something you said. I was waiting for you to finish there.
We don't hate immigration. It's illegal. Like, do it the right way. There's ways to go about it. All of our families immigrated here usually at some point or another. Technically, like, there's ways to do it. Go ahead, go.
Part of anarchism is we don't really recognize borders, and it's a gray area that I just want to kind of briefly touch on. That if it wasn't for the welfare state that our government has created, through the incentive.
That's true. I see where you're going.
The incentive for people to come here wouldn't be the same. So it's a lot of people say, well, you're not an anarchist because you believe in border patrol. And I'm like, oh, well, if you get rid of the welfare state and get rid of handouts and minimum wage and all this other bureaucracy and taxation, then
there'd be no there'd be no incentive for them to all migrate here. I get you 100%, and that is true. Thank you for bringing that up, because someone might ask that in the comments. Which, by the way, anyone question any comments, concerns, ideas, topic ideas, you disagree with us, something we said that might be wrong that you have a link to, please add that all. I'm down to learn and grow more. Just believe me, you're not going to get me to believe fantasy. I play fantasy. I don't live fantasy. You know what I'm saying? But
the world is what it is. It's not what we want it to be, and I think you and I both understand that. Now, if you think different, we might have issues.
Yeah, but I'm more than welcome to discuss it and debate it with you anytime you want.
As long as you're nice.
Yeah.
If you're not nice, I won't be nice.
Then I won't be exactly. Then I won't be nice, and trust me, we don't like that.
No, be nice people.
Yeah, we like being nice. But yeah, so Gavin Newsome, you sir are a fucking D-bag, and you get the T-bag.
T-bag of the month.
Of the week 1 T-bag. Yeah. We will.
I'm sure we'll have a good one for next week.
Matter of fact, we shall be. I think I'll give a little plug next week, or we'll be having our first guest. I think.
Is Morgan coming?
Morgan Rector. For those who do and don't know, Morgan Rector is my co-host on the Trailer Park Boys Fan Federation. He is from Canada, Toronto.
Socialist country.
Yep. I believe he's left-leaning, but he's not aggressive or very political about it. But he is very upset with a certain somebody.
He's got something to say about it.
Yeah, and he wants to vent about it. So I think we're going to let him come in and give the teabag next week. So everyone stay tuned.
We can dump a little gas on that fire, I think.
Oh, I guarantee it. That might even be a whole teabag episode. We might have to go into that one straight off. But yeah, I mean, it blows my mind that California just elected to stick with this. Like we're blind to what's going on. We're blind. Like, oh no.
You know what? If we had the electoral college in our state like we do in the nation, and every county was represented equally, this shit wouldn't happen anymore. This guy is, and all of them are being, because of metropolis like LA,
Yes.
San Jose, San Francisco, and so there's so many people in this one little city that are getting all of these freaking benefits and shit that, for the person they're voting for, saying, I'll give you more. Well, hell, I'd vote for him too if I was dependent on that shit, and it's not, our current system is not representative of the actual people, the regions.
No. And another thing, news. He didn't do it, but you're telling me the man didn't step in and go, what the fuck are you doing? When the new mayor of San Francisco just thought it was a great idea to decriminalize theft under like $900. It's not even a crime. It's not even a misdemeanor. It's like, you can just steal like $900 worth of shit and you're cool with it.
Yeah.
And Newsome was just like,
and they're cashless bail, dude. They take your name and your number, you're out. If you do get arrested.
And Newsome didn't. I was just sitting there and goes, you know what? That's a good idea. I support that in my state. Hey, I'm an ex-criminal, ex-con. You know this shit. That shit sounds cool to me. Not for good reasons, though. Like, I want to go do crime. Which luckily I'm retired from. I'm retired from all that shit, so it's like. But technically, it's not even a crime anymore. You can just go to Frisco and walk in, grab a sandwich and a bag of chips, and walk out. I'm starting to cuss now. Excuse me, I'm getting excited. When I get excited during teabagging, the cussing might come out more.
When you said that, you reminded me of the. I don't know if you've seen that meme or not meme, but that video. There's a seagull walks into a convenience market and takes the fucking bag of chips and just walks outside and starts eating it, dude. That.
With all the cunning and guile you can imagine, the Birdman of Aberdeen's pilfered more than 20 bags in the last few weeks, always tangy cheese Doritos.
It's only Doritos. It's normally the cheese one that's stuck right next to the window. I think it's just the orange packet. It seems like the colour just goes for it, and it's every day it's the same packet.
Do you think it's the same one, or is it a gang maybe?
I think it's the same one. I seem to recognise it every time. It gives you the look every time when it's coming in.
Dude, that's San Francisco people now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next time I go spend a day in San Francisco, I'm not paying for lunch. Know that.
And you got to make sure you download. There's an app.
Pay for lunch, people.
There's an app you can download too that'll show you where all the piles of shit are on the streets, so you can make. I swear to God, there is. It's a fact. I can't remember the name of it. We got to put it in there.
I can remember when I lived down there and I went to the culinary school. Remember that stuff, man? And I used to. The school was on Polk and Turk.
I remember coming down there. Yeah.
And I lived up on Bush and frickin' Turk of the Tenderloin. Was it Turk or was it Polk? I can't remember which one goes this way and that way. Like Polk goes this way now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was on one end of Tenderloin, was the other. And I'm telling you, you walk down the street, every alley smells like a fucking porta potty. Just smells like piss and shit. And there's people, and like, hey, I've been homeless. I get it. I've been a homeless person in my life too. There's a lot of layers to this onion. But never like that. Never just shitting in the middle of the street in front of everybody. Like, no, you go find a bathroom or you go find somewhere. Like, there's ways to be clean even if you're homeless. You ever heard of baby wipes? I used to take baby wipe baths all the time. Maybe it's not as clean as a shower or a steam bath or something, but believe me, you can get into all your nooks and crannies with a baby wipe and you will smell baby fresh. I promise.
Why do you always want to talk about your nooks and crannies, man?
I just like to bring them up for the ladies.
The ladies. All right.
All right, brother. Well, I think this has been a great first episode. I hope everybody enjoys it. You got anything you want to say?
Thanks for watching. If you actually watched all this bullshit, and I hope our facts affected you.
Yeah, so there you go. Like, subscribe, share, send it to everybody. I mean, let's see how long it takes before YouTube wants to start censoring us and blocking us because we're talking about shit that they ain't gonna like.
No.
But anyway, either way, until then, now fact off, everybody.
Fact off.
Go ahead and say all of that wild shit online, man. You might need a Dr. Phil if you catch me outside. And I will not apologize if you ain't one of mine, fam. I cannot afford to give a fuck if it was finance.